Okay, welcome back to A2 Ado. Little Roy's here. And so it's been a couple of days since I played this. But basically what happened last episode was we got in a huge fight with someone who doesn't speak English about the importance of feeling the music, man, and that old famous conductors have no place in musical history. So that's where we are. We just had a huge fight with our dad's student. I suppose we still don't know exactly who he is because we do not speak or read Chinese. By the next orchestra practice, things between me and Hiao have apparently returned to normal. If Hiao's still mad about our fight, he's doing a pretty good job of hiding it. Well, he does toss a flute swab at me for falling asleep again, but that's not exactly unexpected. I snap at him and he snaps back, but neither of us openly acknowledges our previous argument. Things are perfectly normal. Right. At the end of practice, I see Hiao heading in my direction. Before he can get any closer, I shove past the people in the doorway and walk briskly down the hall. All I need to do is show up at practices. I don't need to stay and talk to him. Not when I have way better ways to spend my time. Ugh, who cares? I'd rather do nothing than be around someone like him. For the genuine lack of something better to do, I start wandering the streets going downtown. Sports cars and manicured lawns are soon replaced by noisy mobs of people streaming in and out of shops. You can tell because of the street traffic noises we're now getting on the screen. I naturally slow down, breathing in the smell of barbecue mingled with exhaust. I should come here more often. This place is definitely more my speed. While I'm loitering on the curb, I notice a faint sound weaving through the air. Somewhere in the distance, someone is strumming a guitar. The song they're playing sounds simple, but contagiously bright. I start walking faster. Through gaps in the crowd, I catch glimpses of a girl in ripped jeans hunched over an acoustic guitar. Although the guitar's lacquer is riddled with scratches, and one of the strings rattles loosely, she holds it as carefully as a mother cradling her child. Her left arm runs up and down the fingerboard as her head bobs with the beat. See, she feels the music. She knows what we're talking about. That girl with the guitar, she doesn't listen to old, stinky, Bach, or Mozart, or Beethoven, all those guys that nobody cares about because they don't feel the music. I don't notice it at first, but my foot is soon tapping in time to that same beat. When I close my eyes, I can almost feel those strings vibrating under my own fingertips. It's been a really long time, hasn't it, since I've cared about music like that? She's starting to have feelings again. Though I probably look pretty strange, just standing in the middle of a crowded sidewalk, most people pass by without a second glance. The girl doesn't notice either. It's as if her entire world consists only of herself and her music. She's so caught up in her song, in fact, that she doesn't react when I approach her. I clear my throat. Hey kid, you're not half bad. At the sound of my voice, the girl looks up and smiles. I reach into my pockets for some spare change. Oh no! Before I can toss a few dollars into her guitar case, though, a beefy hand clamps down on my shoulder. Hey Song, if you got money to spare for bombs, why don't you give it to us instead? Oh, I'm back in an alley. Nothing good comes in alleys. New guy must have wised up from our last fight, because this time he brought friends. The three thugs gang up and haul me into a deserted alleyway before I can fight back. Once we stopped walking, I managed to bite one guy in the arm and knee another in the stomach. While both of them were busy swearing, I waste no time in kicking them down. Before I can do any more damage, new guy hits me with a bone-crunching tackle. Both of us go crashing onto the concrete. Where's the money, Song? I shove him away and stagger to my feet. Why am I getting deja vu? Oh, right. It's because you've already asked me that same question. What part of I need 2 more months didn't you understand? Boss says you're just making excuses. He said you should already have the money, now that your big shot old man is dead. If only. One of the thugs catches me off guard by striking from behind. A second strike brings me to my knees. I grit my teeth as the thugs close in around me. New guy smirks at my helplessness. Ready to cough up that money now, China girl? Ugh! My old man wouldn't just hand his money over, you morons. That's the whole reason I've been going to orchestra practice. Huh? How's that work? I only get money on concert days. That's only if I've gone to all of the orchestra practices. So don't show your ugly mugs around me again until February 14th, understand? The thugs hesitate, looking confused. Then, to my indignation, they break into loud, obnoxious laughter. February 14th? What is this? A Valentine's Day concert? Me love you long time, darling. Wow. I don't even know where to begin with this line. The fact that he's confused that a concert would take place on Valentine's Day, or the chick flick reference that he makes. Because I don't think this seems like the type of guy who would sit around watching 16 Candles in his free time. Her daddy's gonna be rolling in his grave, screaming about dishonor to the family. And apparently this guy's sitting watching Mulan. If that rocker chick running an orchestra, it's gonna be a total train wreck. All those namby-pamby musicians are done for now. For some reason, it's that last taunt that grates on me the most. I know I'm always saying that the concert's going to suck, but that doesn't mean these lowlifes can say it too. Okay. Well, if I'm saying in like my text that he's not allowed to say anything, then I'm going to say he's not allowed to say anything. Meh. What would you bozos know about my orchestra anyways? My orchestra? I don't think I've ever said that before. I say it again, with more conviction this time. Yeah, my orchestra's really going places now that we've got a new conductor. He's pretty good, you know. Maybe even as good as my old man. Huh. That's right. You'll need all the help you can get. This is too frickin' funny. Rocks have more musicality than a karate chick like you. What the heck? That doesn't even make sense. Neither does putting a fighting game reject in charge of a fancy schmancy orchestra. Go on, tell us. What would you know about any of that fancy music stuff? He stops laughing after I shove my foot into his crotch. Why don't I start with your funeral dirge? The next few seconds go by in a blur. There are just too many fists for me to keep up with. Before I know it, I'm kissing concrete, ribs bruised and blood oozing from a cut on my forehead. Sneering, new guy spits loudly on the back of my head. Go ahead and have fun prepping for your love show laugh fest, China girl. But if you don't have that money by the 14th, we're gonna show you even more pain. I don't feel a thing. I try not to wince as he steps on my left hand, viciously grinding my fingers into the pavement. How's that? This time I'm biting my lip too hard to reply. Soon losing interest, new guy and his buddies swagger off sniggering. Head swimming in pain, I lie on the concrete for several more minutes, just forcing my breaths to steady. Then, still biting my lip, I drag myself onto my feet. As I stagger out of the alley, I hear footsteps rushing towards me. I said 2 months. Now leave me alone. Raising my one good fist, I swing around to punch whoever's behind me. They duck just in the nick of time. As I lurch forward, grimacing in pain, warm hands catch me by the shoulders. Sona! Yao? Huh? Why are you here? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe I hit my head too hard before. Suddenly feeling nauseous, I bend over and start retching violently. Yao holds me up at the shoulders, even as I hack up my breakfast all over his shiny black dress shoes. Over his arm, I notice the girl with the guitar watching us, anxiety written all over her face. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I should have known something was wrong with those guys you left with before. When your friend came looking for you, I felt so bad for not calling the cops or something. Friend? Wait, you mean Xiao? He was running all over downtown, showing your picture to people. She holds up a piece of paper with a funny-looking drawing. Oh my god, she looks like Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my god. I like that he took the time to actually color it in. Like, he used crayons. He put some effort into it. Are those spikes supposed to be my hair? What the heck? I look like a weird mutant hedgehog. There it is, Sonic the Hedgehog. And why is there a sissy-looking flower? Just because I'm a girl? Doesn't mean that I like flowers. Growing increasingly disoriented, I lean back into Hal's body for support. I know I'm probably getting dirt and vomit all over his expensive suit, but he doesn't stop me. His chest is warm, surprisingly comfortable. Whatever soap he uses smells kind of nice, too. What am I even thinking? I really knocked up my head after all. Oh, I was blushing. My first blush of the game. I'm starting to feel Xiao. As my face heats up, I hastily try to shove Xiao back away. In my current state, though, I can't push him very far. He just blinks in confusion for a bit before slowly releasing my shoulders. I need to go. My apartment is too far away, so I head back to the orchestra practice hall instead. Even in the darkness, I can see Xiao trailing a couple yards behind me. Whenever we make eye contact, though, I stubbornly pretend to be fascinated by the nearest street lamp. Neither of us says a single word during the entire walk. Not that it would matter either way, because, again, neither one of us speaks the same language. If we could talk all we want, it wouldn't make a difference. It's only when we finally reach the practice room that Xiao breaks the silence. Sona. That sounds like the first question he asked when he found me, and I still don't know what it is. I shut the door before he can ask me a third time. I don't care anymore, so stop wasting your time. I sleep like a corpse, which is appropriate, I guess, given how I almost became one. I feel like this is rock bottom. I feel like it's all uphill from here. Like, we've gone through too much to get any further down. After God knows how long, I'm welcomed back into the realm of the living by the elegant flowing notes of a Chopin nocturne. Still stuck halfway between dreaming and consciousness, I have the fleeting thought that my father is the one playing them. Though my father was skilled at many instruments, the piano was always his favorite. Whenever he came home, which wasn't very often, he played the piano more than he talked to me. Sometimes the only thing I'd hear from him in weeks was strains of Chopin through the walls at night. Whoever's playing the piano now sounds almost exactly like him. So, we all know it has to be Hiao. There's no way it could be anyone else but Hiao. Because our father's dead, and two, the only person who would be in the room would be Hiao. Time to put an end to the dream. As I groggily sit up, a light jacket slips off my body and falls onto the floor. The piano playing stops abruptly. Looking up, I see Hiao shutting the cover over the piano keys. He closes the distance between us in several long, brisk strides, then attempts to wrap his jacket back around my shoulders. Hey, I don't need that. He's just trying to be nice. I feel like now we're overreacting. He's like, oh, you're going to pass out in the orchestra room? Here, wear my jacket. Let me be a gentleman. And creepily really similar to your father. Like, this is all screaming daddy issues a little bit. It's obviously a reprimand. I sullenly ball his jacket up and toss it to the other side of the room. Hiao's eyebrow twitches in irritation. I can see him pressing his mouth into a thin line, probably to bite back an impending tirade. He hands me a thermos filled with something warm. He mimes taking a sip from a cup. I swish the thermos around suspiciously before obliging. Though the liquid is sweet, it contains something thick and slimy that makes me spit it back out. What is this stuff? It's gross. As soon as I say these words, I realize what I'm eating. Snow fungus soup. My father used to leave it in the refrigerator for me when I got sick. He claimed that gooey fungus clumps would improve my lungs and circulation. I'm not sure if that's true, though, since I always pick them out and toss them in the trash. Where did Hiao even get this? Don't tell me you brought it all the way from China. He and my father really do have similar tastes. I mean, seriously, this is getting a little weird. I didn't have a good relationship with my father, and the love interest in this game is basically my father. If they hook up, creepy. It's a little creepy. Oh. I mean, he went through all the trouble making it for me. He's just being nice, and I did just throw his jacket across the room. I'm gonna drink the soup. It's time for me to let down my walls. Well, if he went to the trouble of making it for me, I guess I can't throw it out in front of him. Exactly. Thanks, Sona. Thanks for agreeing. I reluctantly gulp down the rest of the soup, though swallowing the fungus makes me gag a little. Hiao's face brightens. He nods, looking almost happy. As he takes the thermos from me, though, Hiao's eyes fall on my left hand. With an exclamation of surprise, he reaches for my fingers. Sona! Oh, that's right. The thug really did a number on my hand last night. But they don't hurt anywhere near as much as they did before. My fingers still look pretty awful, all bruised and caked with dry blood. Yeah, it looks bad, but I'm fine, see? I wiggle my fingers to demonstrate, only to wince at the pain that shoots through them. I probably don't have health insurance, but I probably need to go to the hospital. Oh, Jesus. Okay, maybe fine was an understatement. That was a horrible noise. I cringed real hard. Muttering under his breath, Hiao tries to clean my hand with a cloth from his bag. As he's busy fishing out a first aid kit, I quickly move away. Xiao makes a sound of disapproval as I plop down on top of the piano. Quit fussing and let me do it my way. Grabbing a tube of antiseptic, I try to tear off the cap with my teeth. Xiao snorts not so discreetly, and I get ointment all over my chin. Hey, I got it out, didn't I? Bandaging myself with only one hand, though, turns out to be tougher. I struggle clumsily with the fabric strips for a minute or two before Xiao gets impatient. Ooh, this is the first time we've got like an actual clip. Like it's always been, us looking at him, but here we are together. Us in our bootyless jeans, because again, that is like her defining, besides the mohawk, defining feature here. And then Xiao, in his, apparently had 2 suit jackets, because he is still wearing one. I do not believe he went and got the one I tossed across the room, so he must have had 2. Leaning forward, Xiao takes my arm in one hand and the bandages in the other. Though his grip is firm, it's also remarkably gentle, as if he's concerned my wrist might bruise if he holds on too tightly. His long, slender pianist fingers skim back and forth, deftly twining the bandages around my smaller hand. Once he's finished tying the fabric, I try to pull away. But Xiao doesn't release my fingers right away. Instead, he cups my bandaged hand lightly between his palms and holds it against his chest. I don't know what's happening. I guess this is the biggest moment where I wish I spoke at least a little bit of Chinese, because this is like a romantic moment between 2 people who like have 0 romantic moments so far and have had done nothing but fight. He's probably scolding me for not being more careful, but while his tone sounds stern, his touch is still very gentle. So for once, I don't feel mad that he's lecturing me. If anything, I actually start to feel guilty. Like I said, all uphill from here. We hit bottom. It's all coming up roses. Okay, Xiao. And thanks, by the way. The silence stretches on for several minutes before I finally sever it with a sigh. Thanks for fixing up my hand. For coming downtown to look for me. For staying with me overnight. For letting me throw up on your shoes. I appreciate all those things, even if I'm not too good at showing it. So, yeah. You probably don't understand any of this, but I should say it anyway. I'm sorry I kept blowing you off before. It's just you and me, we're just so different. You're more or less the successor my father always wanted. Me? I've been pushing all that away for so long that I don't know how to stop, so I wanted to push you away too. I stare at the ground, inwardly squirming in embarrassment. Even though Xiao probably didn't understand most of my awkward, halting words, this is still the first time I've ever said them out loud. Instead of shoving them into the back of my mind where they'd probably, hopefully, be forgotten. Anyway, I should probably get going. Zai Zhan. As I slide down from the piano, Yao catches me by the arm. He indicates some stacks of sheet music on the floor nearby. Oh no, he's going to make me pick the set list. He's like, oh good, you're awake. Let me bandage your hand so I can put you immediately to work. Sona. Does he still want my help picking songs for the concert? Can't he see I don't want to be here anymore? Ugh, well, I'll just do it quickly so he can stop asking about it. Sighing. I poke half-heartedly through one of the piles. My eyes widen as soon as I see what's in it. Jazz, rock, and even a few film scores. As far as I know, our orchestra room has never carried such a wide selection of genres. I flipped through the pages at breakneck speed, my disbelief growing the entire time. Did he really bring in all this new music? Just because I said I didn't like classical stuff? Xiao frowns as he studies my face, probably unsure of whether if I'm happy or angry at him again. Heck, I'm not even sure if I'm happy or angry, to be honest. Why would I be angry? What? I don't think I understand how feelings work. I don't get it. Why are you so determined to get me to help you with the orchestra? You were probably my father's star student. And again, we're just making up a backstory for him because we have no idea who he is. We saw one picture of him with our father. So we're just like, you must have been a student. So you're more than capable of doing everything on your own. Seriously, what does a genius like you need a reject like me for? Xiao cocks his head. Either he doesn't understand what I'm asking, or it's too hard for him to answer without words. Either way, I don't really expect him to reply. As I'm about to turn away, though, Xiao holds up a sheet of music. He points at something written above the first staff. One of those short Italian phrases that describe the mood for playing a certain part. Con amor. With love. Aww. Con amor. Play it with love. Xiao adds another sheet of music to his hand, then another. Con amor. Con amor. He repeats that phrase over and over again, gathering up symphonies, ballads, hymns, and arias. Finally, he steps forward, motioning for me to accept the sheets of music in his arms. It's only then that I somehow understand what he's been trying to tell me. Con amor. A song that can be played with love. A song that I care about. He can't believe I don't have anything like that. I numbly back away. The papers spill onto the ground like so many flightless white birds. Sorry. I have to go. Stepping over the fallen sheets, I'm out the door before he can stop me. Con amor. A song I can play with love. It's been a long time since I've thought about that. That girl strumming her guitar on the street curb, oblivious to everything outside her music. Xiao sweeping his baton into the air, humming steadily under his breath. Even my father, eyes closed, in a rare moment of peace as his fingers flew across the piano keys. They all have something that I've lost. Something I've constantly told myself that I no longer need. Something I've never admitted I still miss, even now. These past few years, I forgot it, didn't I? That no matter how different we are, we can all share music. No matter your age, which country you're from, whether you're a musical genius or a good-for-nothing reject. Shouldn't we all be able to find a song we love? Maybe it would be nice to care like that again. Okay, so we're about at the 30-minute mark, so I'll end episode 3 here today, now that we're sufficiently depressed, or maybe inspired. I'm a little depressed. Her backstory and her present story are just getting real sad. She just wants to appreciate, she just wants to have feelings about music again. Because it connects us, even though he speaks Chinese, and I speak English. Con amor. With love. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep maybe. We'll see. So I will see you guys for episode 4, A2 Adieu. And hopefully we'll get a little bit closer with our father's younger self, it seems like, even though it's a little creepy. Have a glorious day, guys, and I will see you a little bit later.